Hello there friends, today I'm going to be comparing two dynamic microphones, the price difference between which is 10 times. Now this is kind of approximate because one of them you can actually buy firsthand. The microphones in question are going to be the RE20 and the Scarlett DM1, which I speculated before to having a Shure SM58 capsule. Now before the comparison starts, I want to make it obvious that I know that there's a big difference in the use cases between these different microphones. This is a handheld microphone, probably used more in stages and live performances than anything else. This beauty right here, the RE20, is used more for broadcast stuff and sometimes for instruments. But we'll see generally what the difference in sound is like, because that is my concern. So let's start. Now the microphone in my hand right now is the cheaper of the bunch. This is the Scarlett DM1. You've already heard it if you've seen the other video. Now this microphone you can only actually purchase through buying Vocaster One Studio Kit, which you can either get for about $250 if you buy it on Amazon, or only $60 if you buy it on Tom and #NotSponsored. Now this microphone boasts a very handheld sound. It's a bit dark, it's a bit focused, it doesn't have that much treble, it's a little bit lacking in the mids, but it's still clean. The bass is quite nice, I would say, though it's a bit dark. It's not the clean kind of bass, it's the I'm gonna EQ this later kind of bass, where it's a little bit muddy, but that's fine. This is what you expect with this kind of thing, and this really helps on stage. This brings out the voices, this brings out the depth, the character of your voice, which is between 50 and 250 hertz, a bit more specific in the middle, but that's generally it. Now, another thing that's kind of worth mentioning is that the capsule size in this microphone is standard issue. This is what you see in Shure's, this is what you see in Sennheiser and others. It may vary by a little bit, but it's not really worth mentioning. Now, what this means is that, as I said, the sound is very, very focused. Now, this is a cardioid microphone. There is a supercardioid, which is even more focused, which is just wonderful. And supercardioids allow you to talk in a bit further distance just because they really capture what's in front only. This is just a cardioid microphone. Now, obviously, the use case for these would be live performances, broadcasts, things like that. They work lovely. They won't give you as much detail as you need, but in return, you won't get as much background. If I just move this microphone a little bit from my mouth, you won't hear much as I demonstrated in the other video. Now let's jump into a microphone that costs 10 times more minus shipping. I hope for people that are watching this video with high-end headphones, you can probably already justify the 10 times price with this sound quality. The capsule is much bigger, the sound is so much cleaner, and it's a lot more broadcasty. You can kind of not have any effects on this microphone and it still sounds like it's kind of edited. I'm not going to talk much about variable D, I think I discussed that in other videos, maybe probably the first video that I made. But as you can see, my S's are very pronounced. You can hear them. They're not piercing, but you can hear them very clearly. It's a condenser-like sound. There's a built-in pop filter just like there is on the Scarlett, but this one is a lot more efficient. Obviously, it's not proper to pull out into the microphone, I apologize. Though you can be a bit more comfortable doing that with this microphone than you would with that one. The mids are very forward on this microphone. Your voice is going to stand out in mixes, which makes this great for radios because the characteristics of this microphone are going to help make it sound better if you're listening to this in a car's radio, as intended. Now, for logical and frugal people, can you get that microphone to sound like this one is a question that I get a lot, which yes and no. Some characteristics that this microphone has, especially when it comes to the engineering part of it, like the infamous variable D effect, you probably cannot achieve with that microphone. But when it comes to post-production of actually recording the microphone and then working on it later, maybe you can. Now, I'm not a professional enough to tell you how to exactly EQ match these microphones, but I can tell you that unless you're doing really professional work, you're probably not going to need to spend enough for this microphone. You can achieve lovely sound with that one. Now, everything in life has pros and cons, so in what situations is this microphone better than the other one? In capturing your voice detail, that's a big major one. And also in giving your voice more life and making it more forward, and in making it sound closer to the ear of the listener, at least in my opinion. Now, what about the cons? First of all, the price. That's obvious. I'm not going to talk much about that. It's 10 times more expensive at least. Second of all, this thing is huge. Look at the size difference between these. This thing is really bulky. You're not going to hold this on stage. Matter of fact, it may sound a lot better for live performances, but no one's going to hold 2 pounds in their hands while they're performing, at least no artist that I know of. And this is not so much a con, except a thing that you should know, that these microphones, as I said, have completely different uses. You might be able to get more of these onto, for example, a drum kit or a guitar or something like this than you might do with these, due to their weights, because some microphone stands simply can't handle this much weight at such a weird angle, and also because, and while these might give your voice justice because they have so much detail in them, that's not how it works for these microphones. Sometimes the lack of detail is what you want. You want a very directed zone. That works a lot for drums and hi-hats and things like that. I'm very embarrassed to say that I forgot to record an outro, but I hope this video helped someone and I hope that you have a very nice day.